Hey guys, welcome back to Phillips Hot Rod Garage. I got my cousin Jared with me tonight. We got a few pieces of insulation left to go up in the building. We're gonna try to get this done tonight, and we're gonna work on this Model A tonight. Y'all hang around. Alright guys, I'm getting ready to repair the subrail. I believe I mentioned it in a previous video that the subrail in this car was really bad rusted. It was completely rusted free from the cowl post. So I just got a used section of subrail from another old Model A cowl. The cowl was badly rusted, and about the only thing that was good that I could use off of it was this section of subrail. So I cut this section out and I've got it fitted into the car, getting ready to weld that in. But tonight I've got to get this seat riser out of the way so I can have more room to work. I'm not going to be using this seat riser anyway, and I also not be using this floor pan. So I'm just going to take the floor pan out. I'm going to take the seat riser out tonight. Now you might ask, why don't I just replace these subrails? They're fairly straightforward to replace and they're not super expensive. But I just don't need all new subrails, because I put this car on a 32 frame and I've got a set of Steadfast Manufacturing curved subrails for the rear that will fit the contours of the 32 frame perfectly. The factory subrails in the Model A are completely flat because the Model A has a flat frame. So I've got these curved subrails to fit this curved frame. So the only subrails that I need in this car, the only original subrails I need, are from basically around the door opening forward. So this little repair section that I got will fix my subrails up nicely, other than a couple of little rust holes on the other side that I can weld up easily. This right here will get me going. It'll be good enough for what I need to do. So let's go ahead and get this seat riser and floor pan out tonight. All right, let's start grinding some rivets. All right, so I ground off 11 rivets. So now we're gonna try to see if we can just pop this pan up out of here with this seat riser. One loose. All right, there's two loose. Car rolling around on me. Nice one. All right, there we go. Seat riser's out. So now let's figure out what's holding this floor pan in. Several rivets are holding it in. Let's get started grinding. I forgot to turn on my compressor. All right, now that the air compressor's on, I'm gonna switch on over to this pneumatic cutoff tool, see if I can get these ground out a little bit better. All right, so I've got 4 rivets in the corners that I can't get to with the grinder, so I'm gonna have to go grab a carbide burr on a little straight grinder. Use that carbide burr to get these rivets ground out of these corners. All right, I'm back with a carbide burr. Let's get up in these corners. All right, that did a good job. So now I think that all the rivets are ground off good enough that I can pop this pan out of here. right, it's coming out pretty good. Got a few rivets still holding it. See if we can apply a little pressure on it with a pry bar here. Got one being stubborn right here. There we go. There we go. I'm trying not to destroy this. I'll be using it most likely to make a pattern. I'll use it as a pattern, I should say, to make a new pan. So I don't want to completely destroy it. Grind this one a little bit more with a carbide burr. All right, there we are. All right, the floor pan's out, the seat riser's out. Now I've just got these rivets in these holes I've got to get out. So let's move this out of the way. Go ahead and get set up to get those rivets out. Now the first thing that I have to do before knocking these rivets out is I've got to grind them flush. These rivets, when you install them, they swell into the hole, and it makes it kind of difficult to knock them out with a punch. So if you grind them off flush with the surface, you kind of get a head start on getting them knocked out of the hole. You just don't have as much of the rivet to have to drive down through there. So let me just go ahead and get them ground off flush. Try this pneumatic grinder first. If it's too slow, I'll switch over to the 4.5 inch grinder. All right, I got them all ground down except for these in the corners. I'll switch back to the carbide burr. Get down in there. I missed one here that I probably need to use the 4.5 inch grinder on, because part of that seat riser, it was kind of thin and rusted. It broke off right there. So just gonna grind it off. All right, I've just got a few miscellaneous punches here. One sharp pointed, two flat on the end, a couple hammers. Let's just try to punch some of these out, see how they come out. Start with this one. Several more to go. think that's all of them. All right, guys, that wraps it up for another night at Phillips Hot Rod Garage. The only thing stopping me now from welding in this section of sub rail is time. But hey, it's been a productive night. Jared got a good bit of insulation installed tonight. He's only got a couple of more nights left, and then the shop will be fully insulated. We've made progress on the shop tonight. I've made progress on the Model A tonight. I'm glad to have this section of floor pan out of the way, this seat riser out of the way, all these rivets out. Now the car is to where I can actually get in here and work and get this section welded in. But I've got some other stuff coming up. This 37 Ford pickup, I got a little project I'm gonna do on it pretty soon. So keep hanging out with me. I'm gonna have some good stuff coming up on the channel. The 32 Ford, I'm gonna introduce you guys to that car soon. I'm gonna talk about the car, I'm gonna talk about the truck, I'm gonna talk about the Model A, about how I came up with these projects and how all this came about and what's going on with the shop. So just stay tuned, I got some good stuff coming up. But I wanna tell all of you that I appreciate you for hanging out with me. I appreciate you subscribing to my channel. I'm just ecstatic. The view counts on my videos are higher than I imagined that they would be at this point. The subscriber count is so much higher than I thought it would be at this point. You guys are just blowing my mind with how fast the channel is growing. I just want to tell you I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Thanks for commenting. I'll see you in the next video. I got a mess to clean up. Y'all have a good one.